This upcoming Premier League weekend has all the potential to change the short term of the Premier League title race. Arne Slot has said a few things in his press conference and seems to be a little bit rattled. I'm not going to lie to you all. He throws a few digs at Arsenal. We're also talking about Arsenal having their complete squad on the verge of being back. Only 3 players injured now, and it kind of seems to be one in, one out process at Arsenal. We're going to look forward to Liverpool versus Manchester United, the big game on Super Sunday, but also talk about Arsenal's trip to Craven Cottage. Once again, we're speaking of the title race. There is a lot of games on this weekend that could shape things differently. Everton travel to City. Those 2 teams are only celebrated by 2 points. We could be second in the league with a win over Aston Villa. Arsenal could extend their gap to potentially 4 points if Man United get the right result against Liverpool from the Arsenal perspective, but also Liverpool could close their gap on Arsenal if Fulham do them a favour. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you also spam that hype button. It really, really helps me out. So please go down, do both of those if you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. And the road to 100K is well and truly on. We are less than 600 subscribers away now from 81,000. So if you haven't already, please join the community. Now, I want to start by talking, before we get into the games, Arne Slot's early season struggles. Haters TV posted this, and it says, if you tell me that we conceded 40% of our goals from set pieces, and the number 1 in the league has scored 60% of their goals from set pieces, and we're still 1 point behind them, I would probably think it's not even that bad. Now, if you tell me that we conceded 40% of our goals from set pieces, are we starting to see cracks from Arne Slot? Is he under huge pressure going into this Manchester United game? Now, just for context and just to clarify, I do think Liverpool will beat Manchester United. However, in recent times, the last 2 results, Man United have got a point off Liverpool, both home and away. You think of last season, both games, more than 30 shots. Both games, over 8-9 shots on target. Right? You think back to when Manchester United won that trophy, they, Amad Diallo ripped his shirt off due 120th minute winner, gets himself sent off in the FA Cup, which Man United went on to win. Recently, Man United, although they are catastrophically poor, and I think we can all agree that, there is, I wouldn't say it's a confidence. I would say it's more pride in the Man United fans that they still believe they can still get something at Anfield. Now, Sunday's game is huge for Liverpool in terms of the Premier League title race. Now, Slot's reaction to his losing streak said results don't lie. Now, Liverpool do return after the international break, playing Man United on Sunday. They are missing a number of players, and that list is growing by each week. Giovanni Leone, Konate is now a doubt. Gravenberch is a doubt. Endo's a doubt. And, of course, Alisson Becker is out until early November. Now, I believe personally there is a hell of a lot more pressure on Liverpool this weekend than Arsenal. Arsenal do have a tough trip against Fulham. And what I look at this game is we will really learn more about Arsenal in terms of their title charge. This was one of the fixtures last season where, Raul Jimenez scored a goal in which was a 1-1 draw at Craven Cottage. Last season, West Ham got the right result against Arsenal, and they ended up losing that game. This, however, is a different Arsenal. Yes, they are missing players. They, too, have a fair amount of injuries, but I think they're close to having a fully fit squad now. Ben White has been announced that he is available for the squad. I believe Piero Nkapie is available. Gabriel Jesus, of course, has got that big ligament injury and won't be available until December. Martin Odegaard, it's been announced he will be out for a number of weeks. Kai Havertz is making some strong progress and should be available. I don't think late November is realistic. I think that maybe mid-November. And Noni Madueke is close to being back to fitness. I think this weekend, if Arsenal go 4 points clear, let's put a world out there in which, let's say Liverpool draw again, right? And let's say Arsenal get the 3 points. This squad here, this is the predicted lineup with Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Eze, Zubimendi, Rice. Eze is going to be so key, along with Saka, in these run of games. Trossard and Martinelli, you can rotate. Gyökeres might not be scoring goals, but he's still helping out the team. But Saka and Eze are the two I'm looking at and going, do you know what now? It's on you to go out there and drag that team to a title. You know, the creative player and the main player. If Arsenal do actually extend their gap to, let's say, 3 points, because Arsenal get the win and Liverpool only get a point, I'm looking at Liverpool's games thinking, surely Liverpool beat Man United. But in this scenario, if they don't, again, the pressure on Arne Slot, coming off the back of 3 back-to-back defeats in this run of games, if they weren't, let's throw a scenario out there where they don't get the right result against Frankfurt, back-to-back defeats in the Champions League, 4 defeats in a row. If they lose to Man United, I don't think they will, however. But if there is a scenario where they do lose against Man United, this becomes a 6-pointer the next game, which would be against Brentford. A Brentford game in which, if it wasn't for a Donnarumma unbelievable save, they would have got something out of it. I think there is tension in the Liverpool squad. I think they've got more than enough quality to go out there, beat Man United, and really push on in this title race. I think they have got all the credentials to go out there and do that. I really, really do. And I'm looking around at this upcoming Premier League weekend. I'm looking at Arsenal's fixtures. Tough game midweek in the Champions League, but let's be honest, there is more than enough out there for them to go and get the right result against Atletico Madrid, Crystal Palace the following weekend. You think Wednesday, the 29th of October, which is 12 days away? They've got 4 games in 12 days. Then you get into November and they've got 3 away games in a row. I think Arsenal will win the bulk of these games, probably 6 out of 7. But again, if they don't get the right result and Arne Slot gets back in front, all of a sudden the Arteta outers and the whole Standard FC, the whole bandwagon, like this can change massively. And you think last international break when Liverpool lost to beat Arsenal, everyone was on Arteta, and now it looks like everyone's on Arne Slot. And what's the irony in the whole in Arne Slot's in what he said is he conceded a set piece which lost him the game. Sorry, the irony is he beat Arsenal for a set piece, and Arsenal lost their only game this season in all competitions was for a set piece. So, set pieces are very, very important. I think the stats behind it is something like 28, 29, 30% of all your goals come from set pieces. Yes, Arsenal are good at them. Yes, Liverpool have conceded some. But he's also very true in what he's saying. Results don't lie. And I think this weekend, if Arsenal go 4 points clear because Man United beat Liverpool, that also changes Man United's season. Then you've got, Bruno Fernandes. We know how good he is in big games. We know his ability to go out there and really perform in some of these, huge games. I'm looking at Liverpool, who plays in that midfield if Gravenberch isn't there. You have to throw Curtis Jones in there. If Konate doesn't play, it will be Gomez. Are these players fully fit? Are they rusty? Who knows? Only time will tell. But it's huge pressure now. It's massive, massive pressure on Liverpool. From Arsenal's perspective, I guess you kind of carry on as you are. I would give anything to see Fulham win. but I don't think they will. Fulham are like a bit of a club now that takes in a lot of, I don't want to call them rejects, but they're taking a lot of Premier League talent that isn't doing so well at other clubs. Like Iwobi, Sessegnon, Smith Rowe, Leno. They've got a lot of quality players, and I really like their manager. But Arsenal should go and win this game. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like, make sure that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.